Welcome back to Rated Radio with your hosts Rayburn Alexander and Shane Wyndham. Rayburn, what's going on in your world?
Most of you know Texas has been greatly affected by an unfamiliar winter storm. Although a step back into time is often refreshing, I think 30 hours without power will last me a while. But don't take my humor of the situation lightly. I will forever be grateful that I was not more affected during the last week, and will be lending a helping hand to those that were. So, other than being able to say, in 2 years, I've survived a global pandemic, numerous natural disasters, countless political movements, and now, Snowpocalypse 2021. So, I'm pretty good. You?
Oh, it was a blast, let me tell you. Having a kid on top of it was just the best moment of my life. But all of that aside, I've been working on updating the Peg Note playlist. That's my music guessing game on Spotify. It's now got over 6,000 songs on it, even though there aren't more than 5 songs per artist. I'm actually hoping to get some feedback from listeners about whether or not I need to make lower difficulty versions and what songs or artists I'm missing. So if you get a chance, put that thing on shuffle, see how it treats you. Let me know what you think. I wanted to start us off here with some corrections.
Here we go. All right. Hit me.
There's not another DeBarge. I was thinking of Corona because both groups have hits called Rhythm of the Night.
Okay.
You mentioned that Saigon Kick song and wanted to mention that I was right about the guitar riff sounding like something else. It's super similar to Pardon Me by Incubus. And then last thing was the arcade bar we mentioned in the last episode is called Free Play Arcade. We never got the name out there. Free Play Arcade. So that's where you should be going.
Dang, not Ready Player One, and we both fucked that up.
Yep. I wasn't paying much attention, but that's always the case. What do you say we roll the intro?
I'm cool with it.
Here we go. I joked about being inspired last week about what this list was going to be because I wanted to do 90s club hits because I think that could be a really cool playlist. I'm just worried that we would choose the same damn songs because there aren't that many of them. What we went with was...
Top 10 karaoke songs.
Yeah. Why don't you start us off?
Yeah. No, thanks. I will. But for clarification, I will say I took a page out of Shane's book this week and made my list solely on the stories. Maybe later we'll do another top 10 karaoke songs where it will be actual picks that I want to hear. But until then, sorry about your life. Anyway, my first pick for top 10 karaoke songs is When I Was Your Man by Bruno Mars. This was the first song I sang in karaoke. It was with a group of friends. If you're not including the Andy Milonakis theme song that was recorded with one of Shane's sisters. I say was recorded. Was performed with one of Shane's sisters.
Fucking Andy Milonakis. I'm just thinking of Cooking with Coolio again. Anyway, continue.
But this was the first official song, the Bruno Mars song, that I sang in karaoke as an adult when I actually had a driver's license and was on my own. So this was the first thing that I chose. Other than that, it was all right. You?
My first pick is Po Pimp by Do or Die. My list is going to be a little strange because I haven't done a lot of official karaoke, and I am somebody who plays guitar and piano, so if I play something, it's going to tend to be on an instrument as well. Anyway, I'm rambling.
Pimp. But Shane.
Yes.
You have sang karaoke.
Yeah, I have. I most definitely have.
The fan.
The fan?
You put the mic up to a fan for Guitar Hero.
Oh, yeah. I was so fucking confused. I was imagining, when you're a kid and you sing into the fan just to hear your voice warble.
Yeah, you sound like
I was like, have you been watching home videos again?
No.
Anyway,
no.
Po Pimp by Do or Die is here because of that Twista verse after the second chorus. notoriously difficult to keep up with in those days, I was routinely asked to pull this entire thing out of thin air when visiting friends in middle school. It was how a lot of the more thuggish crowds I ran in were introduced to me, and why a pasty fat kid was always welcome to drift freely between cliques of kids who were pretty much always at odds. Truth is, I much preferred taking on entire Bone Thugs instrumentals. Even knowing it, this verse intimidated me, but this was what started Fro telling people, Shane's not white, he's just got good hair, because we'd been tag teaming raps for years, and he knew how hard this one was to master. Difficult not to remember that fondly. What's next?
Shane be spitting them verses.
I was quite the rapper at one point.
Next on my list is Rock With You by Michael Jackson.
Good song.
Yeah, this occurred the same night as the Bruno Mars adventure. But I got cocky and thought that I would do a song by one of my best friends, my best friend, Blue Sister's favorite artist. And when I say favorite artist, I mean this woman lived and died by this man. Although she apparently lived through his death. Anyway, I decided to get cocky and get up there and pull her and another friend up there to sing this song. Of course, me taking the spotlight as always. But forgot that I don't know all the words to this song and made a complete ass out of myself by messing up the words. So the only time that Blue Sister Samantha has ever sang karaoke was to save my old stupid ass and jump in to finish the song. And for that, thank you, Samantha. I will forever be grateful.
You didn't have the words in front of you or anything?
Nope.
That's good shit.
I
wish that was on tape.
So. It was so bad. And she's not one of those that'll put herself in the spotlight. She loves to watch people. She'll be the best hype man ever. But her love for me definitely shone that night because she saved me and probably saved everyone watching the pain of watching me struggle through this song. So
it's really fucking with my head the more I think about it. I don't even remember the verses in that song. All I remember is the chorus.
See?
And it being danceable. Anyway.
Well, don't get up there and sing it because you'll find yourself in a bit of trouble.
Well, next for me is The Outside, the live version by Aaron Lewis and Fred Durst. I just really enjoy the way this one uses the high end of my vocal range to such a satisfying degree during the second half. It reminds me of riding around in Corey's Blazer, singing songs, but not even being able to hear ourselves over the ridiculously loud sound system and the high amount of wind coming through the open windows. Definitely a snapshot in time for me to a life that I wish still existed in some form. And even though it doesn't, at least I got to live it at some point. That's what makes life grand.
Yeah, there are a lot of moments from us growing up, not necessarily together, that I wish we could go back to. Even some of the ones that we've gone through together. Being in the same room would be a nice start.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah, I know.
I'm supposed to, this next week, I think, go in for my second round of the vaccine. So really hoping things start moving faster on that front. Whatever.
Well, it was a confusing way to say I miss you, bud. So anyway,
I got it. What's next on your list, Sappy?
I know. Look at me. It's the distance, I'm telling you. Anyway, next on my list is Love is a Battlefield by Pat Benatar. Shane, you have probably heard me sing this on multiple occasions with all the birthday karaoke trips and the rock band karaoke times. But this is what I would say is a crowd favorite among my very small crowd. If you've seen it, you're welcome. If you haven't, I don't know what to tell you.
I really like the song. I know that. I'm having trouble placing memory of you singing it. I can see you with a microphone in your hand, but for some reason, when I think about Guitar Hero nights and that sort of thing, what I think about primarily now is Toby doing metal vocals. Our cousin Toby. Doing metal vocals.
Yeah.
He has been somewhat notorious throughout life with regard to, I think he knows the words to most songs. Sometimes he has trouble keeping up or keeping rhythm, but for some reason, when we set him down with metal, he goes balls to the wall on it and he can handle himself. Not to completely discount your story.
No, it's fine. You probably don't remember it a lot of the time because there was tremendous amounts of alcohol being consumed.
There's
so
always tremendous amounts of alcohol. I get shit constantly because I still care about things that happened in grade school.
Yeah.
And I'm beginning to think that maybe it's just, I don't remember much after those days because we drink a lot.
Yeah, we do. But I'll forgive you.
My next pick is I'll Make Love to You by Boys to Men.
Oh my God.
This is an actual karaoke pick. The first time I went to hang out with Jay, her household was karaokeing. And that is a weird ass fucking word. Karaokeing. I went on Google this morning and made it enunciate karaoke just to make sure we were saying it right.
Okay.
Anyway, I played along, jumping in for a few typical alternative tracks like Tonics, If You Could Only See, leading her to conclude that I would never step up to the mic when she lined me up for this track. Loved seeing the look on her face when I didn't shy away from her challenges. So, wasn't the first time that I've sang Boys to Men in front of people.
That takes some balls to sing a song like that in front of a group of people. So I commend you, sir.
Well, thank you. What's your next pick?
My next pick is Sweet Child of Mine by Guns N' Roses. The first time I ever sang this in karaoke, you were there. I sang it at Joel's on Halloween, and Joel's drunk ass was way too into the fact that I was singing this song on karaoke.
How do you remember this shit? I don't remember. Anyway.
I remember the good stuff, man.
Apparently.
That was the night that it was the Halloween party where we all went to, I think, Denny's, and we just straight up left Joel, and he comes waltzing in literally as we're getting our food. But the thing that I remember most is I think he dressed up like a 70s discoer, like, you want to talk about weird words.
Some cowboy vibes too.
Yeah, so he showed up. And he's so pissed off that we all left him that he sits in a booth by himself just to drink his chocolate milk. So that was that night. But anyway, I sang at Joel's on Halloween. Since then, it's kind of become a staple of mine to sing, especially when my dad's around. So what's next on your list?
Comfortable by John Mayer, or Comfortable.
Comfortable.
I hate that word. Comfortable is what I like to say. And that's what John Mayer says, so.
Only psychopaths say comfortable.
Yeah, there's people who are way too obsessed with enunciation, and I don't know. It's like February is another one. I don't mind February. Like, yeah. Just a silent R for the first one. Anyway, rambling about words. I was asked to play and sing this song on a patio one night by my friend Jenny. She was toasted and kept telling people they had to hear this, that hearing me play it finally taught her what love is. Now, clearly that take was a bit extreme. I'm a mediocre singer at best, but John Mayer really did a great job composing this tune, and it's the sort of thing that's easy to get lost in performing. Doesn't hurt that I relate to every damn word of it as well. Comfortable is it's a staple in my life. So
I'm just beginning to think that all John Mayer's a staple in your life. If I usually listen to John Mayer, I usually think of you. So
he's got some tunes that I don't understand, but they're few and far between. Anyway, what's next for you?
Next for me is No Diggity by Blackstreet. This was at when I found my place, my karaoke bar. It's called G. Willikers in Arlington. Thank Buddha, Jesus, whoever you believe in, Allah, I don't know. It survived the closure wave of the pandemic. So after everything's settled down a little bit, I look forward to going back. Anyway, imagine a dark, cloudy room because cigarettes were still allowed indoors at this time. See across in the distance a very, very, very drunk group of teachers and me in the distance on stage singing this song and getting those teachers turned the fuck up. So
I was going to say, you need to go somewhere with this because I'm starting to feel like I was in some meditation, relaxation thing.
And you're welcome.
I appreciate the ending.
A little ASMR for those that care about that sort of thing. So yeah, no, very, 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 I don't know how many times I can say very drunk group of teachers, of educators, getting turned as I sang this song, and a little dirty. So, you know what they say about teachers, Shane.
That's a really good recommendation that we should make right now, by the way. If you're in an office place and you make any sort of decision about events, have a karaoke event. outside of office hours, somewhere that is dark and dingy and has cheap drinks, and just watch everybody get out of their uncomfortable shells. And you'll always remember what song did it, what the turning page was in that karaoke book. And it's going to be a doozy. I promise you that. Someone that you work with is going to sing something ridiculous.
Yep. And now I'm imagining that scene from Grandma's Boy. And now I can't think of anybody else but your wife, which it's funny because she is an educator.
Joel and I did a show for a bunch of nurses in McKinney. It was at the main building on their square. It was underground, and it would just slowly, people started to get more and more drunk, but they were very separated in the room. And then someone got up and sang "Why Don't We Get Drunk and Screw" by Jimmy Buffett. And it was fucking on. The place just immediately looked like the Scat Lounge. It was so good.
I am always so surprised at those selections that you like. Yeah, you think of like Bohemian Rhapsody or a Journey song or a classic song like that, like Sweet Caroline by Neil Diamond, like stuff like that. And people, usually you get a response out of them. But it is those unlikely songs that just tickle me. I think one of them was a Korn song. Anyway, no, Down with the Sickness, I think, which this can make mentions. There's this guy singing karaoke, and he's like getting really, really into it. And it's Down with the Sickness, I think. It's got that wah at the beginning, right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay. So this guy's like getting really, really lit, and you're thinking he's about to do something, and it comes to the part, and he goes, it's like the weakest ever. And it just makes me laugh every time I see it. So anyway,
I think
it's one of those goofy videos.
Some of the reason that I haven't been to more karaoke things is, one, I lived with someone who runs it, you know, and you get really tired of certain things pretty fast. Like, I don't want to hear someone do Freebird again. You know, like just the common tunes really bug me. Anyway, this is not the last time that we will talk about Blackstreet today. But that having been said, my final pick for this first half is I Just Don't Think I'll Ever Get Over You by Colin Hay. This is another song I love to play on guitar while singing. Hearing it is also when I started realizing that my heart wasn't crazy. I'd always heard and believed we fell out of love with people, leaving us able to fall in love with someone new, that it might suck for a while, but we'd get there eventually. I remember all the wishy-washy stuff I went through with my first relationship interfering with my second, thinking maybe I'd just tried moving on too soon. Took a few more heartbreaks to understand I'd been sold a bunch of bullshit. Maybe I'm just not like other people. All I know is that the love I felt for everyone I was seriously involved with continues to be there. It's probably never going away. Figuring out how to really get the hell on with my life once something truly ended was the only thing I needed to figure out. This song helped me get there. Sorry that was so long-winded.
There's no apology needed.
I'd get told all the time that I say I'm sorry entirely too much. So I don't know where that comes from.
Neither do I. I have no idea. But then I'm just now realizing I just sounded like kind of a dick. So I'm sorry.
No, you didn't. Anyway, let's talk about DeBarge, shall we?
Yeah, the 90s group, DeBarge?
That's Corona.
Oh.
Like this pandemic we're living in. Only I much preferred that Corona to this Corona.
I can agree. Anyway, getting on to DeBarge, not a 90s group. The first album that we covered by them was All This Love from 1982. This was my top album.
This was my bottom album.
Damn, not off to a great start. I gave it 2 5s.
I gave it 3.
My top track is I Like It.
Can't Stop.
And my bottom track was Life Begins With You.
All This Love.
All right. So what I want to say about this album is imagine the Jackson 5 vocals set to early Prince level instrumentals. Very 80s. Decent harmonies, but I'm still not a fan of the female vocals. And it definitely gives me 80s makeout vibes.
I said it was surprisingly solid, popish, discotheque R&B. I think this may appeal to many people more than it did to me. The problem is that much of the vocals feel reminiscent of a choir boy, clean to the point of Christian rock sorts of shiny. Great instrumental work, memorable bass grooves, definitely get the MJ vibes. Yeah.
That's DeBarge for you. Everybody said he was the Michael of the DeBarge group, which, for those of you that don't know, like the Jackson 5, DeBarge was made up of the DeBarge family. I think it was 3 boys and 1 girl.
Four
Boys and 1 girl. So you will probably hear more similarities between them and the Jackson 5 a little later on, but...
And this was in no way bad. Bottom album does not mean bad. I genuinely liked this album. There were only 8 songs. I gave 3 5s. The rest were 4s, except for a single track that got a 3.
Oh, I dished out more 3s on this album than you did. I mean, I liked it. I think it was a better direction for them as opposed to the other albums that we're going to cover, but I'll say why. Moving on. The next album that we covered was In a Special Way from 1983. This was my bottom album.
This was my middle pick.
I gave it 0 5s.
5 5s.
My top track was Queen of My Heart.
A Dream.
And my bottom track was Need Somebody.
Same.
That we can very much agree on.
Yeah. And that, again, was my only 3 on this album.
No comment.
Oh, you don't have anything to say about it? Okay.
No, I do have something to say about it. My no comment was to your 1 3. I definitely dished out more 3s again and even gave out some 2s. But what I want to say about this album is, for me, this album lacked direction. It comes across as cheesy, vocals being lackluster. A couple of the highlights that did come out of this album, in my opinion, was the second album on this track, Stay With Me, is sampled by Ashanti in her song Foolish. So if you want to see the comparisons, go and listen to that. And their 9th track on this album, Dream, as Shane mentioned. It's
Don't Leave Me Now by Blackstreet, isn't it?
I actually know it from I Ain't Mad at You by Tupac.
Oh, yeah, I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, he samples the intro to Dream. And I mean, it's pretty subtle, but the minute that I heard Dream, I thought about I Ain't Mad at You by Tupac. So yeah, if you want to see a little bit of comparisons there too, go ahead and give those a listen as well.
I thought this was a decidedly funkier album, but often slower, with reliance on a dissonant keyboard foundation. Still, there's something infectious about this group's music. Even if my 5s don't seem to reflect as much, this is like if Prince and Michael Jackson formed an R&B boy band. And again, as we made obvious, you may recognize some of these melodies from samples in other songs. Mm-hmm. It's obvious that a lot of prominent musicians who came later really took something away from this CD. And I'd have to agree, I really liked it.
The next album that we covered was Rhythm of the Night from 1985. Surprise, surprise, this was my middle pick.
My top pick.
I gave it 2 5s.
7.
Ooh, wow. It only had 9 tracks.
Yep.
My top track was Who's Holding Donna Now?
Same.
That's a good song, man. I thought you were going to laugh at me for that one.
No, it's a good one.
And bottom track was You Wear It Well.
Share My World. Still a good song. I didn't even rate it a 3. It got a 4.
This album, sorry. I'm gonna get this recording at a distance, man. I swear. Anyway, this gave me very Lionel Richie-esque vibes. Think Lionel Richie, obviously as a single artist, not when he was with the Commodores. So, what was that song that he was really, really well known for? All Night Long.
Richie?
Yeah. Okay.
He's
so
really,
All Night
really
Long.
well known for a lot of songs.
I know, but I'm thinking of All Night Long. Anyway, imagine All Night Long, like that kind of tropical vacation-y vibe, Lionel Richie. Anyway, this was a better concept album in my opinion, but I would say that they should stick to the ballads instead of club mixes. And DeBarge is still my favorite vocalist of the group.
Oh, was that actually somebody's name?
Yeah.
Oh.
DeBarge.
I'm going to go completely against your grain. What I appreciated as far as the vocals go was Bunny. I thought she should have been more prominent in a lot of places.
Well, you do love a good female vocalist. We have established that.
So my notes are that this album embraces the 80s so hard, it's in danger of feeling like a guilty pleasure. Even the cover of the album makes me cringe so hard that I fall in love with the smartest girl in class. A semblance of the group they were remains too, because they did have some upsets between that previous album and this one. But a semblance of the group they were remains, giving this a soulful bit of grounding. This album is downright delightful, and I kind of feel that way about all three of these albums that we covered. I really enjoyed my time with DeBarge, and it was almost all discovery. I knew maybe 3 songs by them, and one of those wasn't even on the albums that we covered.
I think the only thing I knew from them was Rhythm of the Night, and even then I didn't know it well, but I'll say the Rhythm of the Night album is definitely more fun, more carefree. I just thought that All This Love, maybe it's because it was my first whole introduction of DeBarge, I just really enjoyed it more, but that's not to say that... It was a
good album.
Yeah, that's not to say that Rhythm of the Night wasn't up there. They were very close in ratings.
All This Love just had a kind of a plastic feel for me. It was, like I said, Christian boy band sort of vibes. Like the Partridge Family, I guess, mixed with Michael Jackson or Prince.
Yeah, I can agree there. A little backstory on DeBarge. A couple notes that I made that I thought was interesting. One of which I knew because of my mother. Janet Jackson eloped with James DeBarge, one of the members of DeBarge, but was pressured to divorce by the recording company. Why? I guess it was because she was coming out with her single albums. I think Nasty came out, and they didn't want her appeal to be that of a married woman, so they pressured her to divorce him. They are often compared to the Jacksons, comparisons including troubled childhoods. They've gone on to say that their father was a monster, and more similarities. Many of the siblings struggled with addiction, but one thing that I will say that I listed in my things to consider is the weirdest track, Need Somebody, no direction and almost painful. So if you disagree, feel free to comment on this episode.
It was my bottom track, but again, I gave it a 3. I didn't hate it.
I didn't give it a 1, but that was being generous. I gave it a 2.
Oh, my notes say that this music makes me feel like the decade I was born into lives on. This really is a great representation of where R&B and funk and a lot of even rock, the interplay, the stuff that was going on in the 80s, it's just there. You can't miss it. I want to say that I'm firmly in the camp of DeBarge fandom now. Sounds like if the group Ready for the World adopted some of Cameo's grooviness.
Yeah.
You really get this bedroom music with this just shit you can groove to. Great dance music, great lounge music. I could clean the house to this shit. I don't know. I had a very good time listening to DeBarge this week.
Okay, I'm going to need you to record yourself vacuuming while listening to Rhythm of the Night. Thank you. That is your assignment for this week.
Okay, I don't understand why, but anyway.
That's exactly what I imagined in my head when you said that you'd be listening to it around the house. So I like DeBarge too, and good thing is they have a lot more to offer than just these 3 albums, so they will be going back in the jar.
Yeah, it was to the point that I almost went and listened to the albums we didn't cover just because I want to know what's on them.
Damn overachiever.
That's not happened really with any other listening experience so far, given I've known a lot of the other stuff. Maybe Rush, I kind of wanted to hear more of.
Don't say that too loudly. You'll summon him.
I want to summon him. I want to get in person. I want to have him back on the show already. Anyway.
You say the words Rush or Neil Peart too loudly, he'll come slamming through the wall like the Kool-Aid.
Oh, yeah. We're gonna do Pink Floyd with him. That's gonna be my goal.
Oh,
but
well, I'm still holding off on. Well, I say holding off. I'm still holding out hope that we don't get certain artists until certain people come on the show. That sounded stupid. Anyway, I can't give too much away.
We're gonna have a guest extravaganza, and we'll just have Austin, Codes, and your dad on at the same time. And maybe you and I will sit it out, actually, and we'll just let them do their thing.
I was just fixing to ask, do I have to be present for this? Because I don't know that I can handle that much energy in one room. It's like a collapsing star almost.
Nobody's forcing you to do this. You ready to take a break?
Yeah, I need a break. So am I the only one that feels a little groggy this morning?
I got really fucking drunk last night, so no.
Damn it. I had a drink and I wish I would have had more. But that's not why I feel groggy. I don't know. It's just maybe because of everything this past week and dealing with, I mean, yeah, we had 30 hours of no power, but I'm bringing in firewood and trying to find stuff at the store like bread and shit to feed my family.
I'm pretty happy about the insanity, if I'm being honest. I can't wait for, 15 years from now to be able to tell stories about this wild ass year.
I will say I didn't even mind the having no power. Other people in my house definitely minded it. But for one night that we were without power, it was nice because my parents are staying with us along with my sister. And we just sat in the living room floor and played headbands and had a couple drinks. And I will say, if I'm not grateful for anything during that time, it was the not undistracted time spent with my parents and my sister in blue. So yeah, I enjoyed it up until my mom hates the cold. So she was constantly bitching the entire time. So
yes, she does.
I could have done without that a little. So, but anyway.
Even when the internet was down and shit, I'm just imagining her like with pen and paper writing down her thoughts. I'm going to tell the world I hate the cold this much. And then I'm going to tell the world I hated the cold this much.
She didn't have, her phone was dead because nobody listened to me and charged their phones and kept their phones charged, trying to be proactive in times like this. But she was without a phone the entire time. And the minute that she gets internet, she blasts all over Facebook how everyone that likes the cold can go suck a snowflake and, all the stupid things about her just bitching about the cold. She weighed it, but, she was this burrito of a woman and just sat in the corner with this very miserable, pissed off look on her face.
Mm-hmm.
So if it wasn't anything, it was definitely entertaining. So
that was the other thing I forgot. We boiled water. We've had power outages. I had a pipe outside explode yesterday after the freeze.
No.
I do have the 3-year-old child who wanted to play outside in this shit all the time, to the point where we were afraid to let him. And I'm also living with someone who is extremely pregnant right now.
Yeah.
This has been a hell of a week, but we're rambling. Do you have a song recommendation?
I do. My song recommendation is Dela by Johnny Clegg and Savuka. That's Clegg as in Clegg. This song, I found out about this song from, believe it or not, George of the Jungle, starring Brendan Fraser. And since then, it has really kind of stuck with me, and I still enjoy listening to it today. So, Dela by Johnny Clegg and Savuka.
It's a good flick. It's one of the movies we had to watch in theater. Yeah, because our teacher was that impressed by Brendan's performance in that film.
Oh, I'm sure she was impressed by his performance. He's a hottie bo body in that movie.
He's still a hottie bo body, in my opinion.
I love Brendan Fraser. God damn it. I'm so pissed off because Hollywood blacklisted him. Seriously, completely crushed his career. And for what? Because he reported that he was, assaulted? He was sexually assaulted.
Okay.
Seriously? Hollywood? What the fuck?
I kind of just get the feeling that everybody in Hollywood is sexually assaulted at this point.
So
not to dismiss anything, because I do think that's very problematic and something that needs looked at. So anyway, my song recommendation
Sorry.
is Off the Ground by Anderson .Paak. This recommendation is probably going to seem a bit unusual coming from me, but it's a vibe. Think sensual dance track, and you're in the right ballpark. As I finished updating the Peg Note playlist this week, or last week, I should say, back when life was good before the winter apocalypse, this song kept getting stuck in my head, and I just want to share it with people because no one's ever shared it with me. I just stumbled upon it and really like it. Plug.
Right. I actually have two.
Well, make it snappy.
One of which is Smash and Bash in Fort Worth. This is a rage room, also a paint room, just for sake of promoting myself, I made a video of Blue and I attending one of these rage rooms, completely safe. I did much needed homework ahead of time, and the way that they had their sanitation protocols, things like that. Anyway, I approved. So we went to a rage room at Smash and Bash and decided to document the whole thing. And I posted it on YouTube. So for those of you that want to see my fat ass destroy printers and pianos, feel free to enjoy. But
what about this is snappy?
I know, I'm trying to hurry. I also watched a movie called Willy's Wonderland on my Instagram story. I pretty much documented the entire journey. So it is a Five Nights at Freddy's knockoff starring Nicolas Cage. And you know what? I don't need to say any more. Check out Willy's Wonderland. If you get pissed off about watching it, let me know. If not, you're welcome. I'm done now. Go ahead.
Let me apologize. I know there are listeners out there who think that I am a massive asshole to you. And that's because they don't understand that I don't go around knocking you and telling you how to behave and trying to keep you in line, that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. I just know we have to wrangle each other. So I try to joke about it. And then I'm laughing at myself.
Dad, listen. It's okay.
Yeah. So I have 2 plugs of sorts as well this week. And this is how you make it snappy.
Oh, fuck you.
So, first recommendation is a self-plug. It's the Banter Bar YouTube show because it has officially launched. That's a show where I rate adult beverages and answer random questions with my brother-in-law, Joseph. It's been a lot of ridiculous fun so far. I'm still feeling the pain from last night. And it will only be getting wilder once we start having guests on. I also wanted to mention that the Semi-Friendly podcast has begun releasing live footage of their episodes on YouTube. So if you're ever there, be sure to subscribe to both of our channels. That's all I've got. Shall we move on to the immaculately indomitable N9ne?
I would say yes, but apparently that's not snappy enough. So I'm just going to grunt from now on.
Fail. That joke did not land. I give it 0 out of 10 stars.
Why don't we both shut the fuck up and move on?
Yeah, we're not making a whole lot of sense. Here we come, N9ne. Hold on to your boots.
I'm going to let you take the reins on this one, considering that this is your boy.
So the hardest part of this was picking 3 albums. I was not extremely partial in the ones that I picked either. I tried to give a range of dates. So we've got one from 2006, one from 2011, and one from 2018. First album was Everready from 2006. This was my bottom album.
This was my top album.
I gave it 10 5s.
I gave it 5 5s.
My top track was The Beast.
My top track was No Can Do.
Genuinely surprised right now. Bottom track.
I would love to know. I'm sorry. Me! Damn it.
What?
I keep fucking stepping over you and it pisses me off.
Lord.
Sorry.
Need some anger management classes.
Yeah.
The hell?
Sorry. I even said that away from the mic too.
No, I always expect something like Caribou, I don't know.
Okay.
That was my way of trying to give you a compliment. Anyway, my bottom track was Hood Connection.
Enter Everready, Hood Connection. They're both skits. They didn't do it for me.
Word. I thought this album had great sound and great flows, recognizable voice and style, but the album's plagued by bloat and personal verses concentrated around what it's like to be in the rap industry, which is not relatable in most places. People won't always be able to get on board with it. But this album is fun, dark, strange, at times corny, memorable as hell, but hit or miss. And I just want to say that E40 verse, though.
Yeah?
Yeah. And Jellysicle, holy shit.
Well, I'm a fan of the Corn because this is my top album. I would say in comparison, which you cannot compare him to really anybody, this album sounded like Eminem, Bone Thugs, Insane, Clown Posse, Outkast, and Bone Crusher all rolled in a ball.
I feel like that's half of the rap artists that you know.
Fuck you! That is not true, you dick. What an asshole. You know what? He got listeners, he is an asshole.
That was an asshole-ish thing. Yes, it was.
Do not let him make you think that he's not.
But it was funny.
Anyway, says you. Anyway, what I want to say about N9ne on this album is he's extremely talented lyrically, fast as hell. The first time I ever heard him, I compared him to Twista, and Busta Rhymes definitely can show up those artists. He's creative with his beat inspirations. I got like 70s vibes, 70s R&B vibes, even some earlier stuff, and some 90s in there too. So yeah, I like this album. He did a good job.
My fucking throat. Next album we covered. Hey, that should be hating. The next album we covered was all 6s and 7s from 2011. This was my middle album.
This is my bottom album.
I gave it 12 5s.
I gave it 4 5s.
My top track was Worldwide Choppers.
My top track was Pornographic. What?
Nothing. My bottom track was the Angry Caller skit.
My bottom track, any of the skits. And I will say, this album has too many skits. Too many middle-of-the-road collabs. Appearances by Yellow Wolf, Busta Rhymes, Kendrick Lamar, B.O.B., Twista, Lil Wayne, and T-Pain, and many others. I think that a lot of the collabs were a little lackluster with such big names. And starting off the album, it sounded like Ludacris and Tupac.
Okay.
So that's what I said.
I said, it's still too lyrically niche at times. Makes this hard to connect with emotionally in places, and some choruses are mediocre. But the sound, melodies, production, and vocal skill are all top notch. I loved the guest spots. I think the skits are overkill. Also enjoy that he's still embracing his dark side this far into his career. I think a lot of people anticipated that he would stop doing that and move to just a more mainstream sound, and he has yet to do that. Great music for a night drive. This album had really, really strong 5s for me.
Okay.
Last album we covered was Planet from 2018. This was my top album.
This fell in the middle for me.
I gave it 12 5s.
I gave it 3 5s.
Top track is We Won't Go Quietly.
Same.
Bottom track was Bright Fall Confession.
Same. Another skit.
Yep. Thoughts?
He loves to add a sci-fi technology theme to his albums, at least in these 3 that we've kind of covered. I would say that this album was still lacked a little bit of his classic sound, trying to stay relevant to younger artists, crowds today, slightly abandons chopper style, and chopper style rapping is fast-paced rapping or rhyming that was founded, I think, in the Midwest. So I just think he loses a bit of his identity and what made him more well-known in this album.
Couldn't disagree more.
It's fine. You're the expert here, remember?
There's consistency in everything here. That first album we covered, he is really well known for that album. It's obvious why. I get why anyone would choose it as a top pick. I've always been really into his darker, more emotional songs. That having been said, this album, Planet, is more of what I love, minus all but a single skit. Worth pointing out, because there are 19 tracks here, and only one of them is a skit. Tech has grown. The production here is incredible. While it's still got a few weak spots, that this guy puts out as much music as he does, at the pace he does, while still hitting so many homers, is to be applauded. I'm sorry, this album is killer.
No need for apologies. What I wanted listeners to consider is, in my opinion, his strongest element is obviously his chopper style of rapping. My first and best experience was being introduced to Worldwide Choppers by Shane. We've told this story on the podcast before, but I think we were talking about Busta or Twista, and you were like, you think that they're fast? Let me show you this. And you showed us Worldwide Choppers. And I remember. It
was verses, not necessarily the rappers themselves. And Worldwide Choppers, for those of you who haven't heard it, it's one of the most amazing rap songs you're ever going to hear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't choose it for the All 6s and 7s album because Pornographic was so different, and you laughed at my selection.
It's just, I hear the intro every time someone says it. I know the song really well. I like the song. It's more There's someone on his label. His name is Chris Calico. And I think you should listen to Chris Calico if you like tech. But if you like a song like Pornographic, you're going to love Chris Calico.
Who I think that he would do well collaborating with. I would love him to collaborate with Die Antwoord. Did I say it right?
I'm done correcting you. You can't.
I can never remember. Fuck it. Anyway, I think that they would be good together, and I really, really, really would love to see what that sounds like, or hear what that sounds like. A couple of notes on tech. He's very interested in the supernatural. He co-founded Strange Magic label in 1999 and wrote the Kansas City Chiefs anthem, Red Kingdom. So if you haven't heard it, listen to it, because that is also a banger. A huge Kansas City fan. Featured appearances on shows The Hills, My Super Sweet 16, Dark Angel, and Wild and Out. So, yeah. Anyway, anything from you?
Oh, yeah. If you've never heard N9ne, know that we say rap, but his genre does have more rock vibes than you're probably used to in rap. The guy's worked with just about everyone as far as related samples. He has a song called I'm a Player that samples Falco's Rock Me Amadeus. The music video for Dwam and Fragile, I'm going to put on the mentions playlist so you can see just how much range this guy has. Dwam is a high party sensibility song, and Fragile's much more thoughtful, emotionally evocative. And I want people to know that he has that range. It's not a one-note artist. The album art for the Killer album is a Thriller knockoff.
Yes, it is. Oh my God.
I love the look of that.
It's him in a straitjacket, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I saw that and I was just like, no, he did not. So he's got a good sense of humor.
For better or worse, his music makes me feel like the weekend just rolled around. It's not just that you're going to party. Sometimes you are down from the week. Sometimes you're agitated and frustrated. And it's just there's a lot of release in his music, I think, which is why the lyrics you can't relate to in certain places stand out so much, is because you relate so much to a lot of it, that when you don't, it really is obvious more so than with someone like Eminem. Mm-hmm. And I relate pretty heavily to his music too. But
one thing that I forgot to mention is on the Everready album, there's a song called Welcome to the Midwest. If you don't think that 60s crooner and rap go well together, listen to this song because it samples Sway by Dean Martin. So yeah, that was interesting.
Their label is Strange Music, and they definitely make some strange music. There are some tracks and places on some of his albums where they have almost created their own language, where they try to rap like cavemen. He has a fairly broad and dependable bag of tricks. You could easily tire of his style if you take on too much of his music at once, but it's rare to find someone who succeeds even when he isn't rapping at speeds that should be illegal. So enjoy this artist in moderation.
What was the name of the label again?
Strange Music.
Is it Strange Music? I thought it was Strange Magic.
Strange Music.
Oh, well, fuck my information. I don't know.
They say it all over the place too. If you watch a music video by anyone on the label, they do Strange Music right at the very end every time.
Okay, well, it's Strange Music, not Strange Magic, so just ignore me.
So it should be obvious. I didn't go with some of my favorite albums because they're double disc, or they have, some of them are collaboration albums, that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. Anyway, he had a lot more music than DeBarge did as far as tracks go. Obviously, yes. N9ne took my win for the week, but I think you came slightly closer, and your averages are usually what you go by. Who won for you this week?
Do you want to take a guess?
I think it's DeBarge, just because of the skits.
No, Tech took it.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Okay. It was close with Tech's number of skits and his number of tracks, and DeBarge's least amount of tracks, but still the average was greater on Tech. If it would have been exactly, I would have given it to Tech anyway, because I gave him over triple the amount of 5s that I gave DeBarge. So Tech took it for me this week.
I can't emphasize this enough. This is one of those weeks I don't really feel like there was a loser.
Yeah.
This was a great week for listening. If you've never heard DeBarge, definitely go give them a shot. And if you haven't heard N9ne, what fucking rock are you living under? Live a little.
the thing that I was most thankful for this week is the fact that it introduced me to two new artists for me. I mean, like I said, I knew one song basically from each artist, but hadn't had the chance to even dive in to any of what else they have to offer. So I'm thankful for that, and definitely enjoyed listening this week. So I can't wait to see what more they have to offer. And I will probably be playing Everready on repeat for the next 2 weeks. So if you need me, that's where I'll be.
She likes that club music. For me, I know we didn't cover it, but if you want a great theme album, more Halloween vibes, he's got an album out called KOD. It's King of Darkness. That's my shit.
All right.
Anyway, let us move on to the second half of our karaoke songs list. And once again, I will let you start us off.
All right. My first pick for the second half of our list is Just a Girl by No Doubt. Basically, I sang it like Gwen Stefani. I got a compliment. That's why it makes this list. Moving on.
Okay. Sixth pick for me is Bother by Stone Sour. Sometimes life's going to knock you so far backward that you end up way behind your old self. After things went south when I was living in Granbury, I wound up back in the trailer I once planned on killing myself in. Only now, there were even more people living there. I had no personal space, no job, my car wasn't even running properly. I remember spending hours in the back bathroom learning to play this song from start to finish. It was a small victory I clung to while waiting on the next opportunity to show up. Never did play this one in front of anyone though, because it used to remind me of part of my circumstances I never wanted to revisit. Having hung in there, though, now it just reminds me of how far I've come with the help of every wonderful person who's taken a chance on me. So if you ever get to hear me play Bother by Stone Sour, that's a day I look forward to. There was nothing fast about that, snappy about that.
Well, you know, I'm going to be the better person and not comment, so...
Next song.
I'm giving faces right now and you can't see it.
That's right. You're a better person. What's your next pick?
Next pick for me is Criminal by Fiona Apple. Throwback to when we covered Fiona Apple. I mentioned on the episode that I've probably sung this song in karaoke more times than I can count.
Yeah, and apparently watched the music video thinking that you were seeing my mom's secret tapes.
Yep, I'm so glad that comment has stuck with you.
I just re-listened to the episode. So.
What'd you re-listen to it for?
I'm going back through all the episodes because I have to give you a big list of shirt phrases.
That's right. Yeah.
It's been a blast.
Yeah, I'm sure it has. Yeah, it's just a crowd favorite. I get my friends requesting that I sing this, so I'm known for singing this song in karaoke. That's it. What's your next pick?
I want to clarify something.
Okay.
You talk about having a small crowd, a small group of people that you're around or whatnot, and then you go on to say things like it's a fan favorite or a crowd favorite. And
it's my crowd favorite.
It sounds off, but what I want to say about that is you are what I would consider someone who is more of a karaoke regular. Like there's a bar you like to go to where there are a bunch of strangers and stuff that you get into this frenzy of karaoke with. And so I think your crowd is quite a bit larger than just the social aspect of who you're used to hanging around. So when she says fan favorite, if you're like a family member or something, then he hears it and you're like, I don't ever remember asking her to do this or that. It's because the people at the bar definitely know her for that sort of thing.
I'm going to disagree.
I was trying to give you a compliment.
I know, but I'm disagreeing because I don't get anybody at the bar requesting that I sing anything.
Okay.
Nobody knows me as necessarily a regular. I do not go to karaoke unless it's with my very small group of people. And my very small group or my crowd is the one that usually controls what I sing throughout the night. And this is one that usually will make the list, just for clarification purposes.
All right. I was just trying to give some sort of take over here because I don't ever remember putting a song down on a list for you to sing. So,
well, maybe you're not a part of my crowd.
Yeah, maybe not.
We don't go to enough karaoke together because of the distance, but usually my crowd will consist of Samantha and Toby and Blue.
I don't like doing it because I don't want to spend $8,000 on beer. That's usually what it is. I don't want to spend... I remember when I was not drinking, but I still wanted the non-alcoholics. I remember spending like $5 on each bottle of Old Duels at one of those places you like to go.
Yeah.
No.
All right. That's cool.
Next pick for me.
Yeah, moving on.
My next pick is I'll Be by Edwin McCain. Dee and I used to karaoke this song together quite a bit. Considering our voices are very different, I think this one's probably a good fit for most male voices. People still seem to enjoy hearing it too, even though it's a sappy love song, not the over-the-top entertainment you hope for in a karaoke pick. But this one definitely helps. And if you've got a lady friend that you're trying to impress, maybe use this one.
You say I'll Be by Edwin McCain, and all I can think of is, I don't think we've mentioned her name on the podcast before, but our cousin Toby's wife.
Heather?
Yeah, Heather, yes. I can't hear that song and not think of her because it is one, when we play the music guessing game, she is always like lightning to get. So it just, that song always reminds me of her. So you'll definitely woo her if you want to sing that song karaoke.
All right, well, maybe I got to stop singing this song.
You trying to covet your cousin's wife?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
It's nothing wrong with Heather. Nothing wrong at all. That is my cousin's wife.
Okay.
There's no winning this. Why do you ask me shit like this? What's your next pick?
I like to put you in a box where you can't escape.
Yes, you're trying to put me in my cousin's wife's box.
Anyway, moving on to my next pick. It's Woman's Worth by Alicia Keys. I would say that I enjoy being in the spotlight. That may be a stretch to say. Growing up, my mom...
It's the least stretchy thing of all fucking time.
Shh, this is my story time.
When I'm not there and you're recording, do you actually put a spotlight on yourself?
No.
Okay.
I'm going to turn off this light right now.
Continue.
It's a desk lamp, but I'm not putting it on myself. I literally thought about going, I don't know if you can hear this. Could you hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a desk lamp. It's not on myself. Anyway, interrupting my story. Growing up, my mom used to have me, my brother, and my sister, mainly me and my brother, because my sister kind of shied away from the spotlight growing up, perform songs, anything from Kelly Osbourne to Alicia Keys, things of that nature. Dancing, singing. My brother was not performing Alicia Keys. He had his own playlist. Anyway.
Listeners, go ahead and leave a like on this YouTube video if you're listening on YouTube and you've heard this story before.
Shane,
we have covered Alicia Keys.
Anyway, we were up at my spot. I brought my mom and Blue Sister. We had kind of a girls' night, and I sang this song for my mom the night that she doesn't remember getting hit on. My mom was so naive to the fact that she was getting hit on, so much so that this guy was saying that me and my mom look like we could be sisters. And yeah, no, Mom, no. She was so smitten with that comment. So much so that she decided to tell the man our entire life story, including where I grew up. And I'm very surprised she did not share my social security number. And I had to be the bearer of bad news by telling her, Mom, he's hitting on you. So, hey, come on, Mom.
Maybe the dude had good intentions.
Oh, I'm sure he had plenty of intentions.
It's funny as hell to me, by the way, the notion that you would go to a bar, hit on a married woman, end up hearing her entire life story, and nothing happens.
Dude.
You just go home alone.
You can ask Samantha.
And the dude cry sat while you're jerking it, remembering her life story.
The dude sat at our table for 45 minutes listening to my mom tell her and my whole life story. I just could not believe my mom was, I guess, entertaining this guy, having no inkling that he had ulterior motives.
See, and this is why people don't trust you with girls' nights, because it's supposed to be a girls' night, and you let random dudes come sit at a table for 45 minutes.
Not me. I was trying to get rid of them. But my mom kept being like, oh, yeah. No, I'm her mom. I'm not her sister. And I'm just like, bitch, get it to fucking together.
I'm so glad that story actually went somewhere other than just, I used to sing this in front of my mom when I was a little kid. Very happy about that. It was a compliment if
You're welcome.
Can't catch it. My next pick is Crash Into Me by the Dave Matthews Band. A younger me wouldn't have believed it, but this song is a panty dropper. If you've got a guitar, learn how to perform it. Maybe you won't have to hit on married women in bars for 45 minutes.
I don't know how I feel about that comment because I have that song stored in my memory associated with you for a different reason.
Yep.
And now all I'm going to think about is the fact that you consider it a panty dropper.
Yeah, I have a feeling you already knew that. So
anyway, my next pick.
Whatever. You love me. You wish we weren't family. You're just you're just like your brother.
Disgusting shit. I'm just like my brother. Oh, when he said have we talked about this on the podcast?
No, I wasn't going to actually go there.
Speaking of my brother, not that anyone cares, congratulations to him and his now fiance, Cassie, on their engagement.
Yeah.
I hadn't had a chance to broadcast it out to everyone with everything going on, but my brother decided to propose this past week, trying to make a good memory out of something shitty. And he decided to propose to his girlfriend, Cassie, who is the mother to my niece, and they will be getting married. So congratulations, you guys. Cassie, welcome to the shit show that I call my family. For the record, you asked for it. I was born into it, so.
Way to go, Logan. She seems like a really wonderful person from what I know of her. So couldn't be more happy for you.
And no, I'm not going to tarnish this
you already
good
did.
news
You
with
made
the
it about
story
yourself
of my brother.
already. Are you gonna tell a song or a story or something?
Sure, yeah. Well, I haven't even said my next pick yet. Are we moving on, or am I telling the story?
Yeah, I'm done. Crash Into Me,
Okay.
Dave Matthews Band, Panty Dropper. Get a guitar,
Okay.
learn how to play it. Good to go.
Got it. All right. My next pick is Don't Stop Believin' by Journey, because I could not be more basic. This song I performed very badly with my Uncle Jeff, who's not really my uncle. Growing up, we had aunts and uncles that weren't really our aunts and uncles. Shane, I think you remember Jeff and Dawn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Recently, I say recently, probably about, I don't know, recently before everything got too crazy. I performed this with him, and I had never performed any karaoke with him. So that was an experience within itself. That's it.
Oh, okay.
I'm not a good storyteller. I don't fucking know.
You're fine. I will say there was a point in time where I didn't think I would love that song again the way that I did when I first heard it and played it the fuck out. But I have now watched The Sopranos in its entirety, and the very ending of that show goes alongside this song, and it's one of my favorite endings in a show ever. So, yeah, I stand behind your pick.
You are the minority in that regard. You are aware of that, right?
That people like Don't Stop Believin' by Journey?
No, that people liked the ending of The Sopranos.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, just making sure you understand that.
Yeah, completely. And there are plenty of endings like that, or that people think are like that, which are horrible, that I absolutely hate. I like endings that have, what am I thinking of? It's, I keep wanting to say Benicio Del Toro, and that's an actor. It's a film director he did Pan's Labyrinth.
No, that's Benicio Del Toro.
All of his films have a Lost Boys theme.
Mm-hmm.
And what you never think about with regard to the Lost Boys and Peter Pan in general is there's a fantasy element on top of tragedy. So you really have this, is it a happy ending? Is it a sad ending? Things are slightly ambiguous. I know people disagree. Whatever.
Okay. You're next.
Set the Fire to the Third Bar by Snow Patrol and Martha Wainwright. My good friend Amanda asked me to help her record some karaoke covers a decade or so ago now. I obliged. The one duet she'd chosen was this song, a song I'd never heard before she asked me to sing it with her. I'm still really happy with the result too, especially considering I didn't know what the original sounded like when recording. I believe our version's listenable on the video section of my website, ShaneWyndham.com. Definitely a nice duet track for karaoke nights.
My last pick is Picture by Kid Rock featuring Sheryl Crow. I have had many a drunken duet with Toby, or as we call him, Buskus. That's my brother-in-law. He is always down to sing a karaoke duet with me, and I am extremely thankful that I have him when it comes to these karaoke nights. Don't get me wrong, Samantha and Blue are decent hype men, but having Toby get up there with me and sing the stupidest shit, including Love is an Open Door from Frozen, which he butchered and I will never forgive him for. This is my favorite duet with Toby. So, Toby, thank you for always staying up on those late drunken nights with me and singing karaoke.
Why didn't Toby karaoke with me?
Because you don't like to pay for overpriced drinks.
Good call. Does he, if you go out to bars and stuff, does he stay awake the whole time?
He does.
He doesn't fall asleep in the middle of the shindig if he's out in public?
No, he does not. See, the way that it gets him is if it's in someone's dwelling or his own, yeah, he'll just crash anywhere. But if we're out and about, he'll stay up till all hours of the night. So the trick is to get him out and about. And we were just talking recently about how much we missed going to karaoke together. So hopefully once everything gets better and people start actually doing what they're supposed to do, we'll make it out there again one day.
And that question was not to knock you, Toby. I'm actually quite jealous of your ability to just fall asleep so many times in life. I would love if I didn't have to be in a dark room with a fan on and like a pillow over my head. Completely comfortable. So that would be nice.
I love watching him practically break his neck when he falls asleep in a chaos-filled room. Oh, God, it's one of the funniest things I think I've ever seen. Anyway, your last pick?
Stroking by Clarence Carter. Come on. It's a karaoke list. How could this not be on there? I'm pretty sure we've been over this. Nothing brings my fun side out like this song when it comes to karaoke. Highly recommended for those who are trying to get the party started. That's all I've got.
Oh, shit, Shane.
Yeah.
That's a good pick.
Makes me want to... Anyway, thanks for sticking around through our list.
You sounded very happy that listeners stuck around. Thanks for sticking around.
I am very happy.
Sorry you had to listen to the shit show of an episode this was.
No apologies, Rayburn. No apologies. So let's see what we're going to be dealing with next time.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking we might have an extra surprise coming later down the line. Not too much later, so stick with us. From
teasing.
Our listener jam jar is... I'm scared. It's from Samantha.
Oh, shit.
Can you go ahead and sing Samantha's praises? We love Samantha.
Yes, we do. I think I've established that this whole episode.
And
given her high praise.
With a recommendation that I don't honestly know that I've ever heard a single song by. It's Metric.
Oh, damn. Okay, she's going to be so happy.
Stay tuned.
I think you have. Metric.
Don't know what it is. And then from our own jam jar, give it a good shake. And Alan Jackson.
Oh my God. Shane. Samantha. I can't even. I feel like I'm being fought for in a custody battle by Samantha and Blue.
So it's been a month or two since we've listened to a country artist. And then there's one that, listeners, if you have no idea who they are, I don't either. Stick around and we will go through this together. Alan Jackson and Metric. Let's go ahead and spoil the surprise. In the next few weeks, we're going to give the listeners another special. Yeah. What do you say, Rayburn? Are you down for that?
I get a choice?
No, I just want to know how you feel about it.
Oh, I'm excited about it. I literally was thinking the other day that it's probably time that we do another special. And I don't know about you, but I got some ideas.
I'm open to hearing them.
Okay.
That's my way of tentatively saying I might let her pick the special.
Did you hear that? Might let me pick the special.
Come on. I've got to listen to whatever Metric is and Alan Jackson.
You're not going to be disappointed. The little that I've heard from Metric, I really do not think it's going to be a Timmy T situation all over again. Trust me.
I'm going to let you pick all of these albums.
I will probably be meeting with some people to see their recommendation. I'm not well versed in these artists either.
Okay. That's going to do it for this week. Hit up our playlist to hear all the songs we talk about. Get our full ratings, t-shirts, and bonus episodes at teespring.com/ratedradio. Guide what we listen to by suggesting new artists for our jam jar. You can even send us voice messages on Facebook for a shot at being on the show. Your support really is what makes or breaks us. So thank you for listening and sharing. And until next time, fill your world with music.
Peace.
That was a good one. Are you sold on that one? Are you solid?
No, I was trying to think of something. I was trying to think of something for Tech 9. Oh, I got it. And when in doubt, become a worldwide chopper.
I still don't know that we're solid, Reverend.
What the fuck do you want me to say, Shane?
Goodbye.
Eat a dick.